Already. What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den at 10 in the morning. I don't know. We gotta come with maybe a different name for the morning dens. Apologize for the slight delay, but I am your host, Ed Honcho. Glad you could join me this morning. We got, I think, a particularly interesting topic to talk about. We have ventured off into the wilderness the last few days, so it's time to bring all the cattle back home. We have just gone too far astray. So, man, look, I'm with you, nigga. I'm done with myself if that's the case. But today we're gonna talk a little politics. We don't talk politics often in the den, but just as we start to work our way closer to the election, and it's that season. Seems like it's always that time of the year, but we're gonna discuss some things. I just want to get some opinions, and again. I fancy myself independent. I don't really give a shit about either party. But you got to pick somebody, right? So, first and foremost, I'm your host, Ed Honcho. If you don't know, you can catch my personal social medias at Ed Honcho HTX. Instagram and Twitter. This is The Den. The Den is the best conversation on the internet. The reason why this is the best conversation on the internet is because you make it that way. Without you guys, without your opinions, without your thoughts on various topics that we speak on daily, nightly, whatever it may be, this wouldn't be as good as it is. So I thank you for being a friend of the den, a den folk, a den generate, a denizen, however you like to identify. Thank you, and thank you for joining this morning. If you enjoy the content, hey, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, let YouTube know that it's quality content, man. Even they don't give a shit because they probably don't like what I'm talking about. But anyway, every little bit counts, right? You can follow the Den on all the proper social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all Den Show Live. You can go to denshowlive@gmail.com if you have an email. If you want to send an email, if you just have some news, something intriguing, interesting to share. And I appreciate all of you because a lot of you do reach out via various social medias, via email, and share news and content. And like I said, there's a variety of things I still have to talk about. We're going to get on that this week. This is just the start off of a magnificent Monday. And we have plenty to talk about. Hey man, if you want to get some Den Show merch, go to the denshowshop.com. And if you can't always watch, make sure you listen. Go to denshowpodcast.com. Not today, but I'm still tweaking some things. I want to probably simultaneously as I do live streams on the tube, probably start doing live recordings of the podcast. That way, I know everybody's not accessible to YouTube all the time. So it may be more convenient for people who are driving, who just want to listen, who can't watch. Just the podcast may be easier to access. So I'll be working on getting that going hopefully tomorrow. And those who don't know the schedule, hey, Monday through Friday, you catch the Den live. There we go. Monday through Friday, you catch the Den live at 10 a.m. Central. You got stuck for a second. And then nightly, every night at 10 p.m. Central. So Den at 10 Central is the easiest way to remember that. If you want to support the channel, you can make a one-time donation via streamlabs.com. Streamlabs.com/The Den Show. And shout out to all the Patreon supporters. Shout out to Goya, Diana, James, Dan, and Miss Tina Starry-Eyed. I appreciate your support on a monthly basis. You can go to patreon.com/The Den Show if you want to pledge long-term to assist in the growth of the channel. Like I said, there's so much more to go as we continue on this journey. Now, let's talk about some things. Let's get into some what I hope to be interesting discussion. Now, again, whether you are red or blue, blood or crip, Democrat or Republican, however you want to identify it, it's all the same. It's all gang. You might be Yang Gang. You might be voting Kamala. You might be Team Creepy Joe or Uncle Joe or whatever you want to call it. You might be on the Trump train. There are so many interesting choices right now until the field's going to dwindle down. Some people are going to realize they have no shot. And it's going to go from there. But as of right now, what I want to discuss today is who has the most interesting policies? Who has your vote? If the election was today and say all candidates were available, who is the one that is getting your vote? Who would you be willing to, what name are you dropping in the ballot box? Do you just vote straight ticket? Are you just anti-Trump? Are you just, I want to know your thoughts. And then we'll discuss some things. Usually I start off the show, I spill my my personal thoughts, and then we'll open up the deadline so you can call in and we'll talk about it. Now me, I told you I don't give a shit. I don't care. I mean, all politicians got some crew. You got to be dirty to play the political game, and it is what it is. So nobody has their hands clean. But if we're going to get straight to the point and to be honest about it, I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win and why. But before I do that, y'all know I have to address the most important topic every day, and that is you guys. Let's see who we have joining us today. Eastside Hero, and he asked if I'm a member of Brexit. No, I've been on my own thing way before that. Everything Life with Nikki, motherfucking Nicole, Bobby Lilly, Temple of Black Eroticism. Glad you could join this morning. Nana Johnson, what's the motherfucking deal? Fizz Gig 2, Mr. Nice Guy. Let's see. Eastside Hero saying independent already. Fun and Games, Unique Fashionista. You say Biden. Okay, interesting. And Lockbert, you say Trump has the worst approval rating since Harry Truman. People better be lying to the pollsters if he wants to win. Interesting. Let me adjust this so I can actually see. I got it way over here. All right, that's a little bit. I'll put this here, and I got to come up with some new chat games too. I got a couple ideas. I'm trying to work on those today. J&J. Ray, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? So, here's my thoughts, and I'm going to be honest with you. Again, this is what I think is going to happen. Not necessarily who I would be voting for or anything like that. I'm going to tell you that I think Trump is going to win again. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that. And we're going to look at some of the other candidates. And again, I just want to know how y'all feel. I want to know who you're voting for. And who do you find most interesting in this field of available contenders, And the reason why I feel like Trump is going to win again is because looking at this current climate of the country, y'all like that, right? That's Freestyle King. Hold up, baby. Current climate of the country. You know what I'm talking about? No, but looking at the current climate of the country, I think that the Democrats are not presenting a candidate who is strong enough, right? You thought the field was strong last time, and Trump overcame everybody. Went from what people thought to be a joke to end up becoming the president. Everybody just thought it was a foregone conclusion that Hillary was going to win it all. But people came out in mass, and maybe the popular vote, which is not a thing that you want to go by, because then you'd only have a couple of cities running the entire country, which would be terrible, because I believe that most of us as a society don't agree with what a lot of these cities stand for, and a lot of these cities are deteriorating right before our very eyes. But anyway, that he won, and he won. And so I feel like Trump will win again, whether it be I'm 100% for what he's about, or against. That's neither here nor there. I just feel like when you play the game of politics, it's a dirty game, right? I don't think anybody presents enough experience. I don't think anybody presents enough of that authoritative presence. And we can talk about Uncle Joe. But here's the problem with the Democrats. And I'm going to tell you why that I don't think any Democrat will win or really have a chance. Because you have too much of this, we speak on it from time to time, intersectionality, right? And so what you have with intersectionality is, people are more concerned with themselves and people who look like them and their own personal experiences than the good of the group. So right now with the Democrats, you got a lot of people who are, say, you have black women. Well, we're going for Kamala because somehow she looks like them. I don't, if you say so. She does not have your best interest in mind. But hey, well, we want a black woman, so we're going to go for well, you got women say, well, we need a woman. We need a woman. We need a woman in office. So you have women who are just going to refuse to vote for any man, right? Then you're going to have, who's the guy? Who's that? Is that Mayor Pete? He's the gay guy, I think. Buttigieg. Oh, Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, man. You're gonna have gays say, well, I want a gay guy in there, or with gays deserve, and so you're gonna have people vote just because they're so concerned with their own personal issues, not what's good for people as a whole. You're gonna have the Bernie folks. Well, Bernie got robbed last time. God damn it, we're gonna get him in there this time. socialism for everybody. Bernie, come off that check. And you're going to have so many different groups that are divided, right? And some of them will come together once their candidate kind of gets, eliminated from the America's Got Talent presidential edition. And they may, join the next party. Some of them is not going to vote off. Some of them want to go third party. I don't know. Is Jill Stein running again? Who was the other guy? Gary Johnson. I don't know if they're going in again. Well, my thing is a whammy. Yes, a whammy is a thing too. But my thing is this, man, that I don't see it. And if so, I would like to know who you guys think is going to be qualified enough, because you got a lot of these new candidates. I think a lot of people just do it for notoriety. We live in a day and age where a little bit of exposure can, throw your name in the hat, and then now you're famous, or you're a famous politician. Because I mean, look at like what's her name, AOC, relative nobody, but a few months ago, and now they act like she's the most powerful woman on the planet, and it's crazy. And politics has become like Hollywood, has become like a reality TV show. Well, a reality TV star just won the presidential election. So I mean, you see in other countries, you have like the YouTube guy leading in the polls. You had a comedian just win in one of these countries. It's just it's funny, but it's the state of the world that we're in right now. But again, like I said, I want to know what you guys think. Those are my personal thoughts. I just don't see it. I don't see anyone on the Democratic side. I know you say Biden has the experience. This is true. But when I was just talking about intersectionality, the people in your own party are trying to undermine you because they don't want to. You have people with this intersectionality thing. They don't want another white man to be nominated. Hillary didn't get her fair shot. And they're mad. You got people who are so concerned about sex, race, whatever, not about, well, what is this candidate's policies and what can they do for me and how can they put me in a better position? No, it's about the face of the party, right? That's what it is. And so as long as your party is predominantly, I won't say predominantly, I won't say everybody, but it's a lot of these people, a lot of these types, and you're going to be divided in every angle. You got people saying, oh, girl who lost the election in Georgia, I forgot her name, that she should be running, right? And there's like 20-something candidates. Again, and this is just a few. You have Booker, Yang, Kamala, Biden, Tulsi, Sanders, Warren, Buttigieg, and Amy. I don't even know how to say her fucking name. Amy fucking Kalachi. But, to me, it's just, I don't see it. It's going to take a major scandal. And you've had these major networks push the Russia collusion for so long, and then for everyone to get disappointed by the fact that there wasn't, or the people who've been saying that there wasn't, and nothing happened, I think that turned a lot of people against a lot of the information that's getting put out there, honestly. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know. And I know that you have a lot of these. Now, this is something that could have an impact. This is something that you have to be careful of, right? Because it was Russia collusion all last election. Russians interfered with the election. They put out information and did all of this stuff, right? But now you have American collusion. Would you say? Wouldn't you say we have the American collusion? You have all of the major social media platforms suppressing, erasing, eliminating any conservative voice, any voice that sounds remotely conservative. They're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to eradicate it. They're trying to minimize it. You see that the Facebook has a list of all these conservative, Candace Owens and some of these other folks. I forgot, what is it? I'm about to say Lauren Southern, Laura Loomer, I believe her name is, and a lot of these other characters that you have out there. Suppressing their Twitter feeds, shutting down Instagrams and things like that. Anywhere you have conservative voices, the major outlets are trying to suppress them, right? So this is why I feel like that information may have a chance to get pushed for. So if you say You know, if you can say negative things about these people, but you can't say positive things about them, you get eliminated too. So anybody who may be presenting facts or legitimate arguments or trying to have a legitimate debate is excluded from the conversation now. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, but it's unfortunate. So it's gone from supposed Russian collusion to American collusion, right? Because they all, you say somebody didn't want to, they all have come together in a concerted effort to suppress all the conservative voices, right? Or that's their flag. They bang. I'm telling you, it's the Crips and the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Look, you gotta. I mean, they blue and red, just like anybody else. But again, this is not all my thoughts. I want to know how you guys feel. This is just my personal take on it. I give a damn about all politicians. I really feel like fuck them all. But I think any reasonable person who's watching right now, I think that the favor leans in the conservative hands. I think it leans for Trump. It's my personal thoughts. That's why. Let's get this line open here in just a second. And let's get it cracking. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that sub button if you're new to this. We do this live every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central. We do this live every night. I know except Saturday night. Don't be coming at me with no caveats. That last Saturday. We'll do it this Saturday. Every night, 10 p.m. Central. That includes the weekends. Make sure you're part of it. Again, hit that Den Show shop. Get you some of that Den Show merch. It's all Gucci. Make sure you follow all the proper social medias. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Den Show Live. Everywhere. denshowlive@gmail.com. You want to support the channel, you can make a one-time donation via Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/The Den Show. We get the phone lines open over here. And if you want to make a monthly pledge, shout out to all the monthly Patreon supporters. You go to patreon.com/The Den Show. And it's a great show. I think it's a great show. I think you guys make it a great show because I love hearing your opinions, your thoughts, your calls. You can't always watch. Hey, listen in, denshowpodcast.com. Like I said, I'll be trying to work on getting that, synchronized so that, as I go live in the mornings and evenings, that the podcast will be live too, just in case you can't always watch. Some people may be on the road, some people may be at work or whatever it is. You can't necessarily you don't want to get caught on YouTube. I don't want to get you fired. I love y'all. I don't want that to happen. But yeah, Jack, let's get this line open. Where's the fucking number? Here we go. All right. Bye. Now, I'm going to be honest. And then you're like, hey, well, it's still not time. We don't even know who the Democratic candidate is going to be. In all likelihood, it's going to be Joe Biden. All right? That's just what it is. But some of y'all who may not want to have this conversation, some of y'all may be against this conversation. Well, blame the whammon, all right? Y'all did this. Y'all made me have to have this conversation. Right? Because I don't really care about talking politics too much. It's not really my bag. It's not really my forte. But I'm not completely against it. Some conversations need to be had, but let's get into it. You're going to say, why blame the whammon? Well, ask them and they will tell you. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this morning? Hello. I don't know why it keeps going back there. Hello.
It's your boy, Roman.
Okay, I don't know why that audio keeps going back that way. Roman, what's on your mind this morning, man? What would you like to drop into the den on today's conversation?
Man, Hunter, you said best, man. You can't trust no goddamn politician, man. So this is what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna break them down for you. Mm-hmm. Fuck everybody else. I'm naming the two that have the best chance. The two that have the best chance is just fucking Biden and motherfucking Sanders. Let's just be honest with it. Okay. That even have a smidget of a chance to beat Trump. I don't like Trump. I just don't. But
why don't you like Trump? Why don't you like Trump?
Honcho, the reason why I don't like Trump, it's multiple reasons, man. Number one, I don't feel like he's doing anything for the country. I already know where you're going with this question. What did Obama do? Shit, I think Obama could have done a lot of shit better. I'm not excluding that he could have done much better as president. But the thing is, this is my problem with Trump, right? You hear all about the economy is getting better, it's getting better, it's getting better. But where's the improvement, especially for black people, man? What are we seeing to help to show that the economy is getting better? Where's jobs? I just read that outsourcing. You remember when Trump in his 2015, 2016, you know, when he was candidate Trump, right? Talked a big about not moving jobs to Mexico. That was one of his main arguments. And then they said 85,000 jobs from different companies have moved to Mexico. You know, you're not keeping up on your promise. But this is my point. Most candidates don't. That's why you barely can trust anybody. And it's not just that; it's all the collusion. And yes, I know in the Russian report, I know in the Mueller report, he was found there was no collusion. But bro, you're still shady as fuck. It's always an issue with you, and I just can't trust a person like that. And his demeanor is just not a lead to me. And that just caused me just to say I can't rock with Trump. But
get back to that certain studies say right now, black unemployment is at a all-time low. It's the lowest it's been in.
Don't believe that shit, Honcho. Don't believe that shit.
So why don't you?
It was at the last 2 years from 20. What was that? It was 2014, 2015. It started going down in the Obama era. It's been going down since Obama's been in office. Don't always believe that Trump is good for that shit. He takes accountability of something.
But what I'm saying though is I'm not saying that he started it. I've seen the trend myself, but it's still going on. So you're asking where the jobs are, but if black unemployment is at an all-time low, then does that mean that black people are getting more jobs?
But the thing is, how many niggas you know that even if they got jobs have low-paying jobs? How many niggas you know struggling? I could name you 1,000, bro.
Yeah, I could too. But how much of that is on the president? How
you're
much
getting
is on the
jobs.
skill set?
What jobs are you getting to support family? You ain't seen none from this economy that they say keep growing and keep getting bigger. I'm not seeing no improvement.
But what I'm asking, how much of that is skill set, and how much of that is, you know, that if you have a low skill set, if you have a general labor job, which anybody can do, you know, the competition is going to be on how much of that is really on the president.
Look, it's on the president for this exact reasons, Honcho. If you are promoting economy growth and unemployment jobs, then why are there still issues? Why is there still crime of the economy is getting so much better? I've always heard when the economy is better, they take down crime, they take that, and that's not happening. Now, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, people have to do better and get education to get their jobs. But it's on the president's job to motherfucking fund into this shit and really show improvement. You talk all this, but where's the improvement coming from?
Maybe people.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but you were saying Biden and Sanders. I gotta make it difficult for you, Roman. You know, I gotta throw.
Yeah, I know, Hunter. I knew as soon as I said something about Trump, I knew you about to do it. So I was ready for it. But it's cool, man.
Okay.
But Biden and Trump. Okay, I'll just break down this. Buttigieg, Pete Buttigieg, he's just promoting the agenda, man. I heard him talk. He said the same bullshit. I don't hear nothing from Pete Buttigieg. That's his new nickname. Elizabeth Warren don't know if she white or not. You know, I'm Native American. I never liked Elizabeth Warren, man. Something about when she talk. I was watching her on her town hall on CNN talking about her new healthcare for America, and the plan don't make no goddamn sense, man. Elizabeth Warren just don't get it for me. Beto, I don't hate Beto, but the thing is, he ain't got the experience. And he ain't got the experience, number one. He's super young. And then I don't see nothing original from him. You know what I mean? I just feel like he says the same shit just because it sounds good. And I just can't rock with that. And you got other... Okay, and then, what's her name? Booker and then Kamala Harris, they're just white people painted black, bro. Well, they don't care about niggas. They don't care about black people. Don't believe that bullshit they say. They don't come from no hoods. I don't want to hear that shit. They try to go on the Breakfast Club talking about they smoke a little weed just to get niggas. I don't want to hear that shit because your politics, you talk Democrat, but you're really a Republican. So, I mean, you're not promoting what you say. At least say you're a Republican. Hell, I don't like Candace Owens, but at least she says she a Republican. At least she says she a Trump supporter. Don't try to play me with that bullshit. At least Bernie says he a socialist. I can't rock with that. So I can't rock with them. Now
I got a question for you, Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that all the Democratic candidates always go on the Breakfast Club?
I think a lot of reasons, especially I think Democrats, and I do have a problem with Democrats. They try to sway to the black demographic. The thing is, they know that predominantly black people vote Democrat. It's an obvious fact. And what better way to do than go to a black radio station that people watch, that shows shade and media and all that? It's the best way to go because you could promote your politics while in what they say is keeping it real. You are relative to the culture if you go to the Breakfast Club. I don't like the Breakfast Club. Okay, so the thing is, going to the Breakfast Club, it make me look hip. Look, man, I'm with you because I'm on the Breakfast Club, something you listen to every day. Man, don't hear that shit, bro. You go on Breakfast Club for a look because it looks right, but your politics is all fucked up. You know what I mean? And that, I think it's for the look, man, because you look like you're doing something. And especially it sways the minority, especially because that's what people are. The breakfast, rich white people ain't listen to the Breakfast Club. Black people. So, okay, now when it comes to Biden and Bernie, Biden has the name because he was Obama's VP, and he's just known for he's been in shit politics for a long time. It's just Biden has the name, the look, and all of that. And what hurt Biden is just people calling him creepy and all that. And
do you think he's creepy?
My problem with Biden is I don't know his politics. I haven't heard Biden talk once. I haven't seen nothing. And the thing is, I don't get it. Well, what is going to make you different from Obama? It's going to make you different from these other Democratic candidates. Because for how America is looking like, America's pulling more conservative. So I'm not saying change your politics, but I'm saying you have to make sure that you can fuck around and get those undecided voters. And with Biden, I don't know if he can do that because he might just go back to Obama's same, political strategies. I don't think that's gonna work. Now it comes to Bernie. I like Bernie. I do. I like Bernie. I'm not gonna much lie. Bernie says everything that I think every American wants to hear. He talks about free college. He's talking about helping water in these different in Flint and in North Carolina where they have water issues. He talks about a lot of these different topics that I think gets people to grow on him, right? But the thing is, how much are you going to get done, Bernie? How much is too much? Because the thing is, you speak so many good things people want to hear. But the thing is, are you going to be able to get that done? But, okay, you might can get it through House of Representatives because it's a predominant Democrat. But can you get that through the Senate, which is still going to stay predominantly Republican? I don't think you can. And, okay, even with this free admission and free college, man, it sounds amazing. And the thing is, it would say, people can go to college for free. But the thing is, these intuitions and these colleges need to make money. Okay, Harvard ain't about to let niggas go there for free. It's no way. It's no way these big, great colleges who've been making, tuitions and all that for so many years is going to let you take away their money. Because they fund a lot into these governments too. Taxes, all that. Taxpayers pay for that shit. So the thing is, I don't think that can happen. Yeah. So that leads me to, I like Bernie. I do. I think Bernie's reaching too much. And then it leads to Trump. Who else is going to top him, man? You got Bernie, who's going too much. Biden, we don't know what you're playing. And then the rest of them are just scrubs. I mean, damn. It kind of leaves you right there. You know what made Obama good, Honcho? You know what made him, for people to vote for him?
What's that?
His image. Obama came with the suit. He came with the well-cut. He spoke everything properly. He wasn't crazy. He didn't play into the news media. He didn't do all that, and it got him to get votes. It got him. He didn't play into the social media game. He just did his job as a politician, and that got people to vote for him. What you see politicians now, especially in the Democratic Party, they use so much fighting on social media. They use social media as a groundbreaking, as a source to get through, but they cause beef, they cause issues, they get in arguments with these different politicians and these different senators and these different governors, and it just makes their reputation just a lot less because how messy you are. How Hillary was just posting on Twitter saying, "Oh, this is why this is not a good president." Hillary, you were supposed to be a goddamn. You could have won the presidency. How does that represent you as a president? You know, if you would have became one. Goes to Trump. That's why Trump's not a good president. Why are you talking all on Twitter? We're not meant for you to talk on Twitter. You're meant to go in there and do your job as the president to improve this country. I have a big problem with that. You can say what you want about Trump, but I think that's something we all can agree with. Trump on this Twitter shit says, dude, what are you doing? You talk so much time on Twitter, but where's the improvement we're seeing that we're seeing bills getting passed? It's none really. We don't really see it that much. We see you more in controversy than we see you sign deals and actually improving the country. It's a problem. So all I'm saying is, when it comes to this 2020 race, man, expect for a Trump roll. You expect Trump to win. Do I want to win? Hell no. But the thing is, who else is gonna stop him? Shit, Jesus. So, I mean, that's it, brother. And well, Hunter, that's my call, man. I definitely went. I'm at 12 minutes now, man.
It's all good, man. All good. It's good to hear your opinions. I appreciate you calling in, Roman.
Man, anytime.
All right.
Oh, no, wait. Before I even leave, man, prepaid in here. He's about to kick my ass, but I'll take it. That's my call, man.
Already. Speak of the devil. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening? Or morning. God damn it, I was doing good. Who we got calling in this morning?
This morning.
Yes.
This is Prepaid Michael. Some know me as Prepaid Mike in the Den.
Yes. Mr. Michael.
I am not Professor Trill. I am not Jay Dizzle. This is Prepaid Michael. First and foremost, I want to say, Roman, you are very intelligent. You're 17 years old, man, and I'm going to say something that most people don't know about me. At 17, I didn't know as much about politics as you did. You are very informed, which tells us that the way we teach our children, the way they are consuming media, it does work. And then it gives a negative connotation also, because if they consume it the wrong shit, it's like eating food. You could eat all the strawberries in the world, they're healthy, it's a fruit. You eat 10,000 of them, you're going to die in one sitting, I promise you. Now, Roman, let me help you out a little bit, because you were doing great and you were shining, and then you got to a point to where you hit this wall. And when you hit this wall, is what most young black people hit. You said the thing about Obama was, man, he was clean cut, man. He looked sharp. He didn't ruffle no feathers. And that's the fucking problem, Roman. You're the president of the United States. You need to ruffle some fucking feathers. We're the greatest country in the world, yet we're the most passive people. Why? And I'm going to break it down for you in a little bit. Now, for those of y'all who don't know me, because I've seen a lot of new names in the chat, I'm black. I'm married. I got a house full of kids, okay? Just like most black people, I was once a Democrat. Couldn't tell you why I was a Democrat. I just was. My parents told me this shit, and I just rolled with it. The fucked up part about the situation, me voting Democrat all these years, I'm 32 years old, if anybody don't know. I turned 33 this year. I voted Democrat because my parents voted Democrat. They voted Democrat because their parents voted Democrat. It wasn't until Obama ran that I realized that my parents had no understanding of politics. None. Great working class people who had no idea of politics. And I'm guilty just like 99% of people who voted for Obama. He's black, I'm black, let a black man get in there, this is hope, this feels good, this is exactly what was wrong. And I realized from that day forth, and I didn't vote for Obama once, I voted for him twice. Representation is what's been killing the black community since the beginning of time. If a motherfucker speaks well, if he gets a nice haircut, he looks good in the suit, that's enough for us. That's why so much of our systems have failed. That's why so much of our local government is so fucked up, because the person in our neighborhood who usually wears a suit and uses a couple big words and drives a nice car, that's usually enough for black people. Because at least he looks like you know what the fuck he doing. That's what killed us, man. And around about 2013, it's probably about 2012 is when it happened to me. And I really got into politics, and I started reading, I started understanding things, I started doing my own research. And I voted for Trump. And I'm never going to I will never vote Democrat ever again. Never again. And not only is Donald Trump going to win presidency of 2020, he is going to win by historic. And I'm explaining it to you. Roman, you said the black unemployment rate is all-time low, but don't believe that. Let me help you out with some with your fact checking. If you don't believe anything positive about President Trump, if Fox News says unemployment rate in the black community is at an all-time low, if Fox News says it, take your remote control and flip it over to CNN. CNN gonna say the total opposite. If CNN is telling you the same thing Fox News is telling you, then you know it's true. Black unemployment rate is at an all-time high, historic low, bro. It's true. If you are a low-skilled worker, Roman, and you work at, let's say, Chick-fil-A, you don't get to go get a job at AT&T being a contract analyst, bro, just because unemployment rates are all-time low. You are still an unskilled worker. When unemployment rate dips below the 19% threshold, what it's telling you is that these jobs are now available. Now, let's say, for example, you work at a Chick-fil-A, and you're the person who makes lemonade. And let me say this right now about Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is delicious. It is made with the blood of Jesus. It is awesome. There's nothing wrong with a Chick-fil-A job. But when unemployment rate dips and these jobs have been coming back to America, your current manager at Chick-fil-A probably leaves that job to get a more skilled job. Now, when they take a job as a more skilled job, Honcho, what does that create? It creates the ability for you to take the next job as the manager. That's how this thing works. This is why we talk about the trickle-down effect when it comes to the economy. The 1% spends, 2% spends, middle class spends, lower class moves up to middle class moves up to the upper class then become millionaires, become billionaires. That's the way we mean by the trickle-down effect. Now, let's get on Donald Trump. Donald Trump, as I call him Donnie T because that's my guy right there. Donald Trump hasn't just fulfilled on promises. He has, I'm a person voted for him, and I'm shocked by how efficient he is. By a person understanding the economy, understanding the American dollar, and actually valuing the American dollar, look at what it has done to our economy. Also, people have tried to punish Donald Trump for loving his country. There is nothing wrong with loving America, y'all. There is nothing wrong with putting America first. Stop letting these bullshit-ass liberal media outlets tell y'all it's wrong for us to keep illegals out this country. Bro, Honcho.
Yes, sir.
You go to the Fifth Ward. You go to the hood. Why are there burglar bars all over all the windows?
Oh, good boys, they acting up out there.
Okay, so Honcho, when you put burglar bars on your windows at the house, are you doing it so you can lock everybody in your house and keep everybody in it as a prison?
No, we're keeping the mothers out.
No, you know why you? Thank you, because you're keeping the motherfuckers who are not invited out the house. That's what our border patrol is supposed to be doing. This is what the crisis of the border is talking about. We're not trying to keep Americans locked in this motherfucker. You are American. You are American citizen. You are part of the greatest country in the world. We are keeping out the motherfuckers that you don't need in this country. Let me hit on something about immigrants also, just so y'all know. If you are a Mexican immigrant or from any country, guess who's not breaking into this country, y'all? The working class. Them motherfuckers get passports. They get visas. They come to this country accordingly, dog. Some of y'all go on vacation. Would any of y'all jump on a flight and go to Cuba without a passport?
Nope.
You want to know why? Because you are a part of the working class. You know motherfucking well you're not going to get access in Cuba by going on some fucking banana boat trying to sneak in that motherfucker. So who do y'all think are the people who sneak into America? Y'all think the doctors and lawyers from Mexico sneaking in this bitch?
Not at all.
Come on, man, open your eyes. It's the motherfuckers who are running over here who have long criminal hit records. Motherfuckers who come to this country, commit crimes, and get the fuck up out of here. Now, I'm not saying 55 to 70% are criminals. People coming in who are low-skilled criminals coming in here and they taking jobs or from working-class people. And let me say this for black people, and this will help you out a little bit. We are the most disenfranchised people in America. Since when do y'all start giving a fuck about some immigrants? Y'all damn sure don't care about the Nigerians and shit that come over here. Y'all make fun of they motherfucking ass. But now all of a sudden y'all crying, oh my God, there's people at the border being separated from their families. Shut the fuck up. Because when these people come up here and take these jobs, they're taking it from your black ass. Ain't a single motherfucker sneaking over the border in Mexico coming over here and becoming a CEO of fucking Panasonic. I promise you they're not. So let's call a spade, man. And for anybody, oh my God, you're a sellout, you're a coon. If you're black and you're voting for Trump, if you're black and you're making a informed, you get ready to vote. Let me tell y'all right now, I want to be very clear on this. I don't care who you are or who you vote for. If you do your research and this is a candidate you feel like is going to bring change, and for you to advance off of his or her policies, that's what I want you to vote for. If you walk your stupid ass up to the goddamn voting booth and you vote for Elizabeth Warren because she a woman and you a woman, you the dumbest motherfucker in the world. If you are a black man and you vote for Cory Booker because he's black, which I don't know if you want to call him that, and you vote for him just because he's black, you're the dumbest motherfucker in the world. If you are a black woman and you vote for Kamala Harris just because she looks like you or you think she looks like you, you're an idiot. Get out of identity politics. Look at the policies. You have an iPhone. You found this YouTube channel. Therefore, you are smart and competent. You can go look up their policies right now. Do the research. I am not here to convince you to vote for Trump. If you want to be a part of the winning team, you vote for Donnie T. But that's on you. Do what you want to do. But do the research. And for black people who are voting for Trump, stop letting these people call you out your name and tell you all this bullshit because they too stupid to do their own research. Don't let nobody deter you. Get your ass out there and go vote, man. If you believe, if you're a Christian and you believe in a strong American economy, vote for Donald Trump. If you believe in prison reform and bringing home black people who are non-violent offenders and minorities who are non-violent offenders, vote for Trump. If you feel like as an American citizen, we're the strongest country in the world, we should do anything and everything to protect our rights, our constitutional rights, vote for Trump. Period. Now, if you stupid up and say, well, he's racist, and I keep asking, well, what did he say that was racist? Well, he's just racist. Stop it. You're better than that. Stop letting the fearmongers tell you that this person is racist, and that's why you shouldn't vote for him. Stop letting people tell you that he's creating a World War III. Who the fuck are we going to war with? Who the fuck is going to attack America? We give away all our goddamn money to these countries. We feed all the motherfuckers we blow up, so who we going to war with? We blow a motherfucker up and we go over there and give them all this free aid. So ain't nobody going to war with nobody over here, man. And let me hit on two things real quick. Because I've seen a black woman in the chat say she's voting for Joe Biden. Baby, I'm not here to tell you nothing but some call him Creepy Joe, some call him Old Joe. I'm gonna call him the 1994 Senator of Delaware who literally authored the mass incarceration bill. I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. This is a fact. That same bill that him and old Clinton threw all them black people in prison for the quote-unquote war on drugs and all that bullshit, Joe Biden wrote it. Joe Biden wrote it. Now, the fucked up part about it is that you know who's the person who's been telling all y'all that Joe Biden wrote the crime bill? It's been Donald Trump. Why is Kamala Harris and Cory Booker not telling y'all what Joe Biden did? Joe Biden helped put more black people in prison than 10 presidents combined. Now think about that, y'all. Joe Biden helped put more black people in prison than 10 presidents combined. Y'all talk about Bernie Sanders? How is Bernie Sanders going to tell y'all about socialism, being a socialist, when he's the main person making $1 million off capitalism? Stop letting a person tell you some shit and then turn around and do the complete opposite. He made millions off his book deal. That's capitalism 101, y'all. Y'all got AOC. Y'all got AOC telling y'all about capitalism. I was a person who worked in a taco stand. I made nachos. I worked hard. I bartended. AOC, you now make over 6 figures being in the Senate, right? How the fuck is capitalism? How the fuck are you going to talk about socialism? So let me get this straight. You as a taco worker should make the same amount as a person in the Senate who represents New York, the 4th borough? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Stop listening to what they telling y'all and go off what they believe. How is the main person telling y'all about the Green New Deal and we got to save the planet the same person who refused to take the train to work? So they got a policy. She says it's going to save the country, it's going to save the planet, but everywhere she goes, she's taking the Uber X. She's taking the expensive Uber. She's taking, flights everywhere. She don't ride trains anywhere. Went from riding the train every day to now so she won't go anywhere close to the train. Think about that, y'all. Think about what I'm saying to that. If you're black and you're going to vote Democrat, that's fine with me. I'm not going to convince you differently because for the last 65 years, y'all won't fucking change. Y'all won't change in y'all communities, but y'all won't change the way y'all vote. And Roman, you said, why is it that black people aren't seeing the effects of the unemployment rate going down? Look at what's going on. I'm not going to tell you about any state. Just look at Maryland. Maryland's one of the richest states in America, bro. They have the most funding, period. Roman, when you get a chance, take your trip to D.C. Just take your trip to D.C., bro. Look at the trickle-down effect what's going on in D.C. Now take a small little ride, get on down to Baltimore and see what's going on. Look at the trickle-down effect. Everybody in Maryland eating good. All these great education. Baltimore, 11% literacy rate. Do your research. Look at the mayor of Baltimore. Look at the last 4 mayors of Baltimore. Have all been indicted for embezzlement. All Democrats, all black women, all stealing money. And they're going to keep voting that way. You can't open a motherfucker eyes who's not sleeping, bro. They open. They just don't give a shit. They know how they live in this wrong, but guess what? They won't change it. If a person is telling you, I want to send aid to your city, I want to come and help your city, and you tell this person he's on a no-fly list of your city, there's nothing I can tell you. There's nothing else I can tell you. When rappers like YG are making songs called Fuck Donald Trump, if they go back to their homes where they got motherfucking security guards and 12-foot fences and shit, and they got maintenance surveillance all around their house. Fuck Donald Trump. Donald Trump is motherfucking racist, and yet they go live in a palace. While y'all the ones struggling, don't have clean water, have, you know what I'm saying, homeless people living everywhere, violent crimes, drugs, you know what I'm saying, murder. How these people don't live in these cities, bro. They don't live there. They don't live there. These rappers tell y'all don't vote and all this shit. Guess why? Because they don't live. They don't have to. They say what y'all want to hear so y'all can buy their music. That's how this shit works. YG can be the biggest blood of all time. I guarantee you he ain't going back to the hood. They just killed Nipsey, bro. He ain't going back out there and be hanging out like that. He damn sure ain't finna live there. Don't listen to what the elites are telling you as far as people who have gained access and gained money. Think about the city you live in. Look at the problems that you are having. Look at how your neighborhood is being affected. Look at it. And if you're looking at what this neighborhood be affected, how can you turn around and vote for somebody who you know motherfucking well ain't finna do shit for your people? Now, Honcho, we're going to do some question and answering because you got a couple questions for me, some things you might want to ask, and we need to go ahead and say it so we can answer some questions moving forward.
Okay. So what was it initially? Because I think there may be some people who are on the fence who may be listening to what you're saying. So what was it initially that made you say, you know what? Let me step off this Democratic plantation and let me see what these Republicans over here are talking about. What initially? What was the thing that most influenced you to do that?
Okay, so since I can remember, since I was a kid, I was always taught Republicans are for rich racist people and Democrats are for poor black people. They're for us, man. They're trying to give us help. And I started, I had a conversation with my grandfather one time. I'll never forget it. We were sitting in the garage, man. He was drinking some Heinekens. They terrible, but I drank one also. And we were sitting there drinking a Heineken, dog, and I said, Grandpa, if Democrats are supposed to be helping our black people, why the fuck are all the black people still poor? If they supposed to be saving us, how come our neighborhoods never changed? And my grandpa said, son, they wasn't helping us. That was never the ploy. The ploy was to control us. He said, if the ploy was to help us, then why aren't all the black nominees, the black Democratic candidates, why are they never black? Why is it always white people telling us that they're here to help us? He goes, why they never live in these neighborhoods where they supposed to be quote unquote helping us? And then from now I said, you know what? That's kind of crazy. And he goes, all you need to do, young man, is go and look up the war on poverty. He said, I want you to go and look up the war on poverty. Now, my grandfather is not a real political guy. He was never big in politics or whatever the case may be. But when he told me to do that, I went back and was doing some research. And as y'all know, when you research stuff, you're reading stuff, 1 click turned to 2 clicks. 2 clicks turned to 200. And let me say this. Even dating back to the war on poverty, Lyndon B. Johnson did not have the idea to control black people. His idea was to help us. And I think that he was very genuine in thinking so. But it was what it did to our communities, what it told our communities. That they did not need the black father. You do not have to have a family. If you're a black woman, a single woman, and you're having kids, the government's going to help you feed those kids. That sounds like an honorable gesture, but it's what it did to us. It told us from moving forward, in order for you to live the lifestyle you want to live, you don't need a man in the house because we're going to keep giving you money, keep giving you government aid if you keep having these kids. And it fucked us because white people get on welfare. White people do not tear down their foundation for welfare. We do. We do. And from there, I started getting more into it, and I started reading more. And it's so crazy because a lot of times I was told that Republicans, they all racist. They don't want to do nothing for black people. And it was so crazy because majority of legislation that helps out black people were passed by Republicans. Like mass majority of all bills that helped out black people moving forward have all been passed by Republicans. And I'm thinking to myself, this might be the greatest wool on people's eyes that ever happened. Like somebody has got to make a movie about how the Democrats have tricked us all these years. It's the craziest shit. And then around 1990, there was a pushback from black people. No, around about 1985 to 90, we had a pushback from black people, and we started to wake up and started to open our eyes. And you know what the media did from there? The media then told us about systematic oppression and racism and how it was affecting us moving forward. And so many of the woke niggas ran with that shit. And so many of them have correlated every problem that's going on with us back to slavery and being systematically oppressed. That's why every time you see a Democratic candidate get into a debate about anything, and Trump is mentioned, the first thing they run to is systematic oppression and racism. Every time you see a woman who's running for office and they mention something to her, she talks about sexism, racism, and oppression. Every time. Because you don't have to debate anymore. You don't have to live by fact. You just mention this shit. These same people who have never faced racism head on are going to tell you about how bad black people have it in America and how much racism they face. Y'all going to let Cory Booker tell y'all about racism, and I can't wait. It's going to be the most glorious thing on TV. Both parents, IBM executives. Both parents. Cory Booker has never not went to an Ivy League school. Look this shit up. How does a person who's lived better than the 1% of white people want to tell you about how bad niggas got it? How is that possible? Cory Booker could not walk into your house right now and tell you how to make. If you told Cory Booker, you know what, bro? I really want some noodles, man. Make me some noodles. Cory Booker couldn't doctor up the noodles for you. You gonna make them? He gonna boil that water. He gonna read the back of the packet and find out how to make them noodles. Them bitches gonna be gummy as shit. He ain't gonna add no extra seasoning because he don't know about none of that shit. He don't know about it, bro. There's no way possible he can go in there and function with us. But he's gonna tell you about how bad you got it because that is the only thing that the niggas hear. That's the only thing they hear is about oppression, how bad you got it. Do you really have it bad? Do you really have it bad? You got an iPhone 10. If you own an iPhone 10 right now, how bad do you really have it? Black people got it so hard that you can afford a $1,000 cell phone. I'm 32 years old. When I was 18, I bought a Motorola Razr. You know how much that Motorola Razr cost, Honcho? It cost $249. That shit was life-changing. I was the only one in college who had one. Think about that, y'all. That wasn't 15 years ago. So you don't think that you want to tell me how bad we got it? You can literally access everything you want to know through your phone, but you want to tell me how oppressed you are. How bad it is to be black in America. Horse shit, man. Horse shit. They want to tell you how fucked up this system and how much these cops are gunning us down. They're killing us. They kill us every day. The cops are just blowing your heads off because you're black. Bullshit. You know who killing us? Our own fucking people. Our own fucking people. But you know why they don't make the news? Because y'all don't want to hear about that. That doesn't get you triggered. That isn't something you want to unpack and talk about. Talk about how in Dallas, Texas, in the month of May, there was 48 homicides. 48. You can't name 48 unarmed black men that was killed by the cops over the last 5 years. Why is that not highlighted? Why is that not highlighted? Think about that. May every black person who got killed who was unarmed and who was in the right, killed by a cop, may they rest in peace. But you mean to tell me that Mike Brown's life was worth more than anybody who was killed in Dallas, Texas over the last month? Why? Why? That's all I'm telling y'all. Do your own research. Start opening your eyes. Stop letting the media tell you whose life's worth more than somebody else's. 17 killed. What we just had, was that Memorial Day or was it Labor Day? Was it Memorial Day?
Memorial Day, yeah.
Memorial Day. 17 killed in New Orleans on Memorial Day that weekend. 17 people gone. They just killed a superintendent who was having an argument over the NBA Finals. Shot this man in broad daylight and killed him. Majority of who not in the den didn't even know that. But if it was a white cop who shot and killed him, we'd be burning down the city right now. I'm not telling all y'all to wake up and go the way I went. My education is different from majority of people. My views on life are different from majority of people. I look at things different than majority of people. But what I will tell you is that if you don't believe something I'm telling you, just look it up for yourself, man. Look it up for yourself. Look it up for yourself. If Donald Trump is racist, he's the worst racist of all time. This is the worst. If Donald Trump is racist, the Ku Klux Klan should skin this motherfucker somewhere in the backwoods of Mississippi, Alabama, as soon as they see him. Because when you pass a $438 million bill for HBCUs, I'm just saying, y'all, you're a terrible racist. When you have personally donated over $4 million over the last 10 years to HBCUs out your own money, you are a horrible racist. If in 1992, if Barack Hussein Obama writes an article talking about Donald Trump is the American dream, I just don't see how you're racist, bro. When you in the motherfucking Playboy Mansion doing coke with Kanye, Jeezy, Snoop Dogg, they got video all wild and everybody rapping about you. I just don't understand how you was this closet racist. I just don't see it. I just don't see it, bro. When you have prison reform and you reach out to every last NFL player taking a knee, when you reach out to every last rapper, when you reach out to every black community leader asking them to come down here and let's put some names on a piece of paper. Let's get these people out of prison. Let's make change. And you don't get any response to it and you keep fighting it. It ain't like he did it one time. He's reached out numerous times. How the fuck is you racist? The crazy part about it is the niggas who y'all swear is so down for us wouldn't do half the shit that Trump is doing to try to affect our community. If I'm lying, I'm flying. There's no wings on my back. Jay-Z is a billionaire just like Donald Trump's a billionaire. Why is Jay-Z trying to do prison reform now? Think about it. Think about it. He's from Marshall Square in New York, bro. One of the worst projects ever. Why he just not trying to do prison reform? So he can come back to good work that Trump has done. So he can say that, yeah, Trump helped some people out, but shit, we doing our own thing. That's the wrong thinking, y'all. That's the wrong thinking. Why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? The car driving just perfectly fine. I'm all about working smarter in the black community, not working harder, bro. That's it for me, man. I'm going to let somebody else call in. Look, y'all, when it comes to politics, I know a lot of y'all going to say, fuck politics, man. I don't care what's going on. If you're black or you're a minority, politics affect you more than anybody else in this country. Wake the fuck up. Policy change affects you more than anybody else. Period. Wake the fuck up. If you can vote, get out there and vote. If you're a convicted felon, fight for your fucking rights to be able to go out there and vote, man. Change. And for anybody who's saying they're not voting, shut the fuck up. You keep yelling about your constitutional rights, guess what? That's really your constitutional right. A motherfucker literally died for that shit. That's it for me, man. Y'all be blessed.
Already prepaid. Appreciate it. Hey. If you're feeling a particular kind of way, call into the line. I want to know how y'all feel. Wow, Breakfast Club on. Yeah, I mean that's the perfect plug. Why not let Candace Owens come onto the Breakfast Club? That's very interesting. I mean, since that's the place to go to speak out to niggas. Like, I'm gonna tell you when it really started. Because when I really started halfway paying attention, and Hillary was talking about that goddamn hot sauce, that's when it just all came together. Just like it really just. Like, wow, and it's so blatant these days. When Roland Martin was out there dancing, that's when it really started coming together. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this morning?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm PC.
NPC, what's the motherfucker? The topic that got you called in today, man. What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I know. I just be talking a lot of shit, but I want to call in. I don't want to talk too much because I'm at work, but Honcho, I will donate to you $500. Someone to show me some irrefutable, objective fact as to Trump being a racist. I want you to put it out there, and I'll wire you $500 if somebody can just show me the truth. Because I've been watching, the news and reading articles and trying to do my own research, and it's all allegations. I can never get anything that's, right there in the line, just truth. It's just allegations or people feel a certain way, but it's never a fact. What you think?
No.
So that sound good?
Yeah. So y'all get on that. Y'all better get to that. Look, I need that. We didn't need that. Y'all find that racism so we can get that them 5 bills, man. But that's my thing, man. I look at it like that, and I know because racism does get levied to a lot of shit these days, and I know that's a question I asked often when people say, "Oh, I hate Trump because he's racist," and I just question, well, what is it that he's done? And I'm gonna be honest. And like I said, I don't give a fuck about any of the politicians, but I have not seen it. I mean, I have not heard it, and maybe I'm overlooking the one spot where it is, but I mean, I don't see it. He's done a lot he's done more, in my opinion, for the black community than Obama did in a shorter term. So I really don't know what to go with it.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I hear all this bullshit. Oh, he's a racist, or he put out an ad for the 5 dudes in New York that were accused of that rape, that chicken apart. Yeah. And what else was it? Oh, his father, and he had a bunch of properties where they were allegations of him, discriminating against minorities and whatnot. But they're all allegations, or this is how I feel. So, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say much more. I got to go back to work. Rashida, I love you, baby. I'll see you later. And I'm telling you, $500, anybody can show me the facts. I want to, if they can say, hey, this is objective proof that this man's a racist, I'm going to send you $500. All right? Super chat.
I appreciate
for Patreon. All right?
That's a bet, baby. Appreciate it, NPC.
All right, brother.
All right,
let
man.
you go.
All right. Shout out to NPC, man. Hey, look, y'all got to do that due diligence, man. Look, hey, I need that 500. Like I got bills to pay. Summertime, kids going to fucking daycare a couple of days out the week and shit, or whatever they do. They taking little trips and field trips and shit. That shit ain't cheap, man. We're gonna have to. I need that. Help your boy out. I need that. Little research is free, man. You know what I'm saying? What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this morning?
Hey, what's up, Honcho? It's Bretto, man.
Bretto, what's the motherfucking deal, Bretto? What's on your mind on today's topic, man?
I got some shit to talk about. And by the way, just so you know, this is like probably the second time I've ever called the den sober.
Wow.
Usually keto. So, good thing. Okay. But anyways, about this topic, if I could predict who's going to win, unless he's impeached, I'm going to say Donald Trump, because they're going to try to impeach him because he's a threat. They know he's going to get elected. I think they're going to impeach him because they control the Senate right now, don't they? Or is it?
Is the Senate or the House or whatever it is? They control something, goddamn.
Sorry, might be a little wrong, but I have a feeling that he is going to get impeached, though, because they're just aiming so hard to impeach him. And if he does get impeached, my advice which I'm sure they will do, is next Democrat, when there's more Republicans, they're going to impeach the next Democrat president, which they need to do just as retaliation. If they're going to do this kind of shit, they need to impeach the next Democrat president. They probably will. More than likely, they'll come up with some excuses, just like the Democrats are trying to come up with right now. But Fuck, what was I going to say? I used to be, I'm not really a Republican. I would say I'm a moderate. But for the longest time, I was like a Republican, like right after 9/11 happened, because I was in high school, and the Democrats were opposing it and all this, like going to war with them, and I supported it actually at first, because I was buying into the whole government bullshit. You know, this was back in the day. I was like a Republican for a while, and then it just, the reason I stopped becoming a Republican is because, I don't know, everything just started going to shit with Bush. I hated Bush so much, George W. Bush, that I became a Democrat, like a hardcore Democrat, right? Yeah. And like, I really believed in Obama, right? I mean, I really liked that guy, and I felt so betrayed when he fucked us over, because I voted for him twice. The first time I voted for him, I believed. I said, this guy's going to change the country. I know it. Possibly the world. He's going to do something. I thought he was so legit. At first, I thought that he was going to get assassinated. I thought somebody was going to try to kill him, because I really believed in him. I was worried for his safety, to be completely honest with you, at one point. Yeah. Like, and a lot of people thought that, too. I was talking to people at my old job, and they're like, dude, I'm scared they're going to try to kill him. Somebody's going to kill him. But anyways, I felt so fucking right? And because of Obama, like, okay, the first thing that he pissed me off with, and I put up with his shit for a while. The second time I voted for him, I only voted for him because Mitt Romney was a shittier alternative. Yeah. And I don't regret it at all. I think Mitt Romney would have been an even worse president than Obama. But anyways, what Obama did, and I don't know why I stopped liking him right after he did this, but the first thing he did when he got into office, and this proves that he's not really like a hardcore socialist, because he's all talking about how the rich need to pay higher taxes and fuck corporations, yada, all this shit, right? What's the first fucking thing Obama did when he got into office, Honcho? Do you remember?
No, I couldn't tell you.
He bailed out the fucking banks.
Oh, man.
He bailed out. Remember that shit?
Yeah,
that pissed me off. The fuck is your goddamn problem? If I had a business, and my business fucking went bankrupt because I had a shitty business, nobody wanted to buy my product or service or whatever, the government's not going to say, oh, here's some goddamn money, we're going to bail you out. No, they're not. They're going to say, tough shit. Tough shit. And that's what we should have said to these fucking goddamn banks. We bailed them out. Ooh, that shit pissed me off. That really, but I still was an Obama supporter. I was like, well, I'm sure he had a reason for it, you know. But in the back of my mind, I would say, no, this is a red flag. Obama sucks. He fucking sucks. And another thing is, during the later Bush years, the Democrats were pushing themselves as the party of anti-war. You know what I mean? And what's the first thing Obama does? He goes to more wars than fucking Bush. We're going to war with so many fucking countries right now, I can't even keep fucking track, man. There's all these secret fucking wars going on. We're getting some shit in Sudan, with some people in Yemen. I mean, fuck, it's everywhere. It's fucking, we're just this goddamn scourge of the earth right now, dude. And there's secret wars they don't want you to even know about. You know, there's all kinds of fucking bullshit going on right now. And it, goddamn. And another thing that pissed me off with the Democrats, why I will never be a fucking Democrat again, is they're just constantly pushing fucking gun control. And it's like, I don't know which is worse. A guy who shoots a bunch of people in a mass shooting, or a fucking politician trying to politicize that shit for political gain. I don't know which is worse. They're both fucking disgusting to me. Do you agree, Honcho?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Those people do try to capitalize off every one of these situations that occur, and I think that is an issue. You know,
it is disgusting. It's disgusting. Another thing they're doing is the Democrats are pushing hardcore for fucking political correctness, pushing hard, and that's hurting them. Oh, yeah. That is really fucking hurting them. They had record low numbers of a lot of white men refused to vote for Hillary. And Hillary was just constantly attacking white men, the white male patriarch, whatever. You know, all this bullshit. She lost like hella white male voters. And I don't think the Democrats want to admit it. Or maybe they're just either they don't know what's going on or they don't want to admit it because they're scared to admit it. But they're losing like so many people. Like they're losing the black vote. They really are. There's so many black people that fucking hate Democrats at this point. I'm dead ass serious with you. Mexicans too. Mexicans too. Believe it or not. I work with a lot of Hispanic dudes and they fucking hate fucking Democrats. They like Trump. You know what I mean? So I mean, you can't just like stereotype people and be like, oh, well, this guy's a redneck. He must be a Republican. He's a black guy. He must be a Democrat. That's so far from the truth, man. So fucking far from the truth. You know, you might see a redneck dude and he's a fucking hardcore Hillary supporter. You know what I mean? You might see some thugged out looking Mexican dude and he's a fucking hardcore Republican. So no, you can't buy into these stereotypes. Because my mom, she's like a hardcore Democrat, and like, because I live in California, like I said, and she'll just go off on, and I tell her, like, shut up, because you don't know who's a fucking Democrat or a Republican. You know what I mean? You got to be careful. She was going off on Trump at a Mexican restaurant, and I was like, shut the fuck up. They're going to spit in our food. This waitress might be a Trump supporter for all they fucking know. What the fuck is your problem? Make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Okay, got that. Let's see here. Oh, you know, I went to San Francisco yesterday, and the reason I'm brought this up is because somebody was talking about transgenders yesterday on the show yesterday. I can't remember what the topic was about, but dude, I went down to San Francisco, some family members, and dude, it's different down there. Yeah, I haven't been there in a while, but it's fucking different, bro.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, there's all kinds of trannies down there, but they're obviously trannies. Like they're not the kind that look like females. These are actually like you could tell they just transgender. Like they got muscles and fucking, you know what I mean? They're dudes. They're fucking dudes. Definitely dudes. You know what I mean? And when you go in the restrooms, it's just really creepy. There's a lot of gender-neutral bathrooms. They don't want to offend people. You know what I mean? And there's no urinals in the bathroom either. Because, you know, if you're a transgender man or a woman, you know, you can't piss in a urinal, you know, because women can have vaginas too, or penises too, remember?
Yes.
With men, Honcho. So they got that kind of shit there. And it's kind of creepy because, like, I went in there and there's, like, a woman in there, and I was like, oh, shit, it's kind of weird. You know, like, how they do it is, like, there's different stalls. So it's like one giant restroom, but a different stalls. And there's no, it'll just say restroom. There's not, you know how they got, like, the male or the female, you know, on the restroom? Every restroom has that, you know?
Yeah.
They don't do that. It's just restrooms.
Yeah.
They don't want to offend somebody because they might not identify as a male or female. They might identify as a jellyfish or a turtle or something. Who fucking knows? But, you know, it's horrible. And, fucking A. Goddamn, I forgot it. But, hey, you have a good one, Honcho. Take it easy, man.
Alrighty, brother, man. Appreciate the call.
All right. See you.
Alrighty. Now, I don't want to offend anybody. Do we have any jellyfish identifiers in the chat this morning? Because if you identify as a jellyfish, hey, you can still be a friend of the den. That's all I'm letting you know. Already. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this morning? Okay, Mr. Michael, what would you like to share this morning? The best conversation on the internet. Hold on. People, I didn't bamboozle you with the Roman, man. Goddamn, I'm doing too much. Bring that back for the people. Bring that back, Screw, one time for the people.
Okay, this is Prepaid Mike, also known as Prepaid Mike. Miss Tina, you seem to not like me, and I'm fine with that. You don't know me, I don't know you. But here in the den, which is the what? Honcho?
The best conversation on the internet.
The best conversation on the internet. If you don't like me, you can call in and chime in just as much as you want to. It's your right. Now, for anyone else who does the personal attack, let me help you out with something, okay? Debating 101, you learn this when you were in high school. You attack a debate off of facts, not off the personal, not off someone's personal. Y'all in here talking about how much money I make, or me driving trucks, or my wife. That's silly on your part. First and foremost, you can't even get your facts right. So you can't debate what I'm saying about Trump and Democrats or the 2020 election, but you have a beef with who I am, person, how much money I make? How silly does that sound? On top of it, you're so bad at it, you think I drive trucks. I don't drive trucks. That's not true. And for the other person who, you're in a certain tax bracket, let me help you out with something. My parents' anniversary this year in November, okay? Let me tell you what I'm finna do. I'm getting ready to pay off my parents' home. The home that I grew up in. Until I was 14 years old, I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. A 2-bedroom apartment on South Braeswood in Houston, in the hood. I'm from the hood. I'm getting ready to pay off my parents' home. My parents bust their ass. My mother was an intern for Shell Oil Products. An intern, and worked her way up. Been well for 34 years. I come from nothing. I worked my ass off. I bust my ass. I didn't get a single handout my whole life. I worked my ass off. That may bother a lot of you people, but if I can make it out, you can make it out. Period. So telling me about my tax break means absolutely nothing. Did my tax break help me when I was going undergrad and I ain't had no money? I was busting my ass to make ends meet, working 2 jobs in college. Did it help me out when I got my master's? Did everyone went to law school and got my law degree? Don't sit back here and talk about someone personal if you don't know me personally. I come from these streets. I donate and give back to my community. Don't sit back here and say no shit like that, because you sit up here and make comments like that and you won't do shit for your people. Y'all the same people sit up here and judge people who somehow, drug. Y'all keep talking about these bootstraps. Y'all pulled myself up by the bootstraps, and guess what? I made it, and I ain't gonna apologize for it. Y'all the same people who see homeless people on your way home and wouldn't even roll down your window to give them $1 out your pocket. Don't sit up here and try to judge me when you don't fucking know me. Don't fix your mouth and try to belittle me because I made something out of myself. See, with most black people, you can shame them for being successful. You can't shame me, baby. You can't shame me. I've had air put numerous times. I've had a wish sandwich numerous times. Honcho, tell me what a wish sandwich is.
And I wish I had a motherfucking sandwich.
I wish I had a motherfucking sandwich. Nigga, air put, and I've eaten that numerous nights. I done went to bed hungry because when you go to sleep, you wake up, you won't be hungry anymore. I lived that shit.
Man.
Some of y'all come from the greatest situations, didn't even know how good you had it. You ain't never missed a meal. Don't sit up here and talk that shit to me when you don't know me. The bad part about it is majority of y'all seem to be talking that tax bracket shit because y'all never know what y'all like and y'all had the chances. Y'all parents provided y'all with opportunity. Some of y'all got them handouts, and guess what you did with it? Not a fucking thing. You let a shit down your leg. And now you're here talking about how unfair life is. Don't play with me, man. Don't play with me. I went to school and bust my ass. I took care of my business. I'm a great fucking father. I'm a great fucking husband. And I'm not going to let you shame me for it. And you know what the most important thing is? I'm a black fucking man in America doing it. Doing it. And I'm doing it. And life is great for me. And life can be great for you if you stop making them fucking excuses off your ass. The problem is some of y'all are under 25 years old. And if y'all listen to what older people are telling y'all, you will be so much more advanced than your colleagues. See, if you younger than me, I've been your age. You ain't never been 32 before. See how that works? See, that's that wisdom. When a motherfucker 42 years old tells me something, you know what I do? I listen. Because he been 42. I ain't never been 42. Y'all keep talking all this black poor shit. Do you know how many black millionaires and billionaires are in America? How many of y'all knew who Robert Smith was before he donated that money to Morehouse? How many of y'all knew who he was? I got my hand raised right now. I had no idea who he was. But the one thing you're going to learn about me is I don't believe that all black people are poor. I don't. I don't believe that all black people are, we're oppressed. And these people are trying to hurt us. That's bullshit. You know who hurting you? You. Because the number one sign of being poor is your mind state. It ain't about your economic status. Majority of y'all in the chat make poor people decisions and then wonder why you're poor. It's a mind state, man. I know it's a mind state because as soon as I start dropping these gems and telling y'all facts, all y'all do is want to attack people personally. You don't even know these people trying to attack them personally. It's silly upon you. Attack my beliefs. Attack the reason why I vote the way I vote. Attack the reason why I support Donald Trump. Attack the fact that I keep talking about the black community. Y'all hear that whole thing kept circulating? The black community, the black community, the black community, because that's who the fuck I care about. No offense to white people. I just never been white. I can never be white. I can never be Hispanic. I can never be Asian. I can only be black. Here's an idea for y'all, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. How come every time a black person don't think the same way y'all think he's Uncle Tom, a coon, or he's well off, or, you know what I'm saying, he's in a different tax bracket? Black is black, baby. Black is beautiful. And the one thing about black is forever. You can't be nothing else you want to. You can bleach your skin tomorrow, you're going to still be a nigga. Y'all be blessed.
I really appreciate the call, Prepaid. So, Sally, you say your tax bracket determines your political affiliation, period. So, what do you say about recent billionaire Jay-Z and Beyonce? I think she's doing all right, but yet they were out there, you know, singing and dancing for Hillary. Look, I'm here to be the devil's advocate, goddamn. I like this shit. After all the shit the ladies that put me through the last few days, I love this shit. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this morning?
Michael, jeez. Eddie, is you okay? Are you okay, Eddie? I feel you though, my nigga. I feel you.
And hold on, let me pause you 1 second. And for those of y'all who can't tell the difference between the last two callers, okay? The last caller was prepaid. This caller is Professor Trill, okay?
Yes, and I am the truck driver. I'm driving right now, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
On fumes, but I'm driving. I'm just trying to make it to the station.
Okay.
Cause this motherfucker die on me, I'm up in the heap of trouble. But hey, bro, I ain't mad at you. Now look here. I'm gonna make this other point before. No, I'm gonna just talk about prepaid for a second. It bothers me when the motherfucker is trying to help you, and then you start talking shit about him.
Yeah.
The reason the man trying to help you is because he found a way. So if the motherfucker telling you the way to get out the maze, you start calling him what? He's a spoiler? I don't understand that. That's the way he got out. There's many different ways of getting out now, and I understand that too. But I mean, come on, y'all gotta attack the man? I don't get that. I just don't get it. Yeah. And I don't agree with Pete Prade all the time. You know, a lot of times, yeah, fundamentally. But the way to go about the shit, we might have a difference in opinion. Now, here's what I want to say to Mr. MPC. And to you too, Honcho, and to Prepaid, because this is where I strongly and vehemently disagree with y'all.
Okay.
Because what y'all saying makes no sense. I'm going to ask you one simple question.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can come up with any way to answer it.
Okay.
How can somebody prove that somebody's a racist?
Okay, and that makes sense, but how can someone accuse somebody of a race if they can't prove it?
You didn't know. Answer the question.
You can't.
What?
So,
no. What? That's precisely my fucking point.
But at the same, but on the same token, how can you accuse somebody?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Stay on point. Let's not never deviate from what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
There's no fact or anything that I could prove to you that a person is racist. I don't give a damn if I had a picture of him standing next to a nigga hanging from a tree with a noose on his neck, and he turned around smiling with his ID card in his hand on some R. Kelly shit. You be like, I don't believe that. That could be doctor because it could. Let me tell you why. The same reason that you feel he ain't racist is the exact same reason that they feel it is. It's because of how the motherfucker makes you feel. It's not a proof thing, it's a feel thing. Can't nobody prove why they feel the way that they do, just like they can't disprove the way you feel the way you do. So you trying to ask for evidence? It's futile. It's completely futile. And them trying to search for evidence, it's futile. It's a futile argument, which means it's a wash either way it goes. And the bigger point is, what the fuck does it matter? You know how many races that they've been running the country since before Trump? What's the fucking difference? Who gives a damn? It's all about the policy that he comes out with. It's the shit that he does. That's what matters more than anything. Now, the part where it might revert to where the shit he says is dealing with foreign policy. Because you could say just the wrong thing, or hell, you could do the wrong thing. Because I know one of them countries to where if you're sitting down and you wipe the bottom of your feet, that's like seen as a sign of severe disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So in that essence, everything changes. What you say and what you say is just as equally as important as what you do when dealing with foreign policy. So the fact that you believe he's racist or you don't believe he's racist, who gives a fuck?
Okay.
There's no reason to even try to argue that point. It doesn't make sense either way. What you gonna do now that you got this so-called power or this position? What you gonna do? I don't give a shit if you don't like me or just because of the color of my skin. I don't care if you do like me. What are you gonna do to help me? Because that's all I'm worried about. I don't give a shit about the people in a different tax bracket. I don't give a shit about the other. I give a shit about me. Okay? So if I'm in the low end of the tax bracket, yeah, what you gonna do for us? I'm probably somewhere in the middle. What you gonna do for me? I don't give a shit how much you taxing the rich and poor people. I don't care. Just to be honest, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I hate to see people out here hungry and poor people on the side of the road, like Prepaid said. That was a dude yesterday. Matter of fact, at this place that I'm at. He asked me for some money. I told him I don't carry cash, which I don't. And he was like, well, can you get me a Snickers and a Gatorade? I said, I got you, pimp. Went in, got him a Snickers and a Gatorade. Why? Because I got it like that, and I wanted to do that. You think he would have cared if I don't like other niggas? It's not about my feelings or his feelings. It's about what I did for the man. I didn't have to do it, but I did.
Straight up.
That's what matters. So y'all focus on the wrong shit. Which is what I've been saying the whole fucking time. Fuck you if you're a Republican and fuck you if you're a Democrat. Because if you're not leaning somewhere toward the middle, you're not interested in helping the country. You interested in being a Democrat or a Republican. That's the problem I have with them.
Okay.
And if you really want to know the aspect and what I'm talking about, or what I would love to see achieved, you got to watch the show on Netflix called Designated Survivor. This motherfucker is an independent, and you can see the decisions he makes. It's not about what this group think he should do and what this group think he should do. It's about what's fucking right. What's supposed to be the best option for everybody, not one side or the other. Because if you just keep going for one side or the other, it's the same old shit. Ain't nothing ever going to get done. This side is for it, that side is against it. This side going to do everything to help you. This side going to do everything to stop you. Whether it's good for the country or not. I have a problem with that. Because this side only cares about this shit. Well, when you in that position, you can't have the same ideology that I have. You can't. If I was a politician, I'd be worried about what's best for the people, not what's best for me and my political party or affiliation. Because the people that support your campaign ain't the only people that you there to represent. You represent the people that voted for the other motherfucker too. But people tend to forget that. These are the facts. These are not my opinion. This is the way this shit has been going since forever. And we still struggling with it, and this country is steadily evolving. All this technology is steadily pushing us further and further ahead, but our ideals are remaining the same. That will not work. We're slowly but surely getting left behind. And we're supposed to be the most powerful nation in the world. We not. We just got the best fucking military. We the biggest bully. And we the dumbest. And if you really want to be all the way real about it, we're the brokest nation in the country, in the world.
Okay.
Who has the biggest national deficit than us? Nobody. We flat ass broke. We in the red like a motherfucker. Matter of fact, we more toward the burgundy. It's so goddamn red. These are not my opinions, people. These are facts. No matter what side of the political affiliation you sit on, these are facts. Ain't none of what I'm telling you is untrue. So what the fuck are we really arguing here? That's the question you should be asking. Even if you do get your way, what good is it going to do to people? What good is it going to do the country? Is it going to help our infrastructure, which is flawed as fuck? We will never be able to make it perfect, but we could damn sure make it better. Shit is changing and we not changing fast enough with it. We not adapting fast enough. The same states that was poor are still poor. And they still got a lot of shit to offer, but they're not using it properly. People ain't being educated as good as they should be because we're not taking care of the people that's supposed to educate them. The chicken and the egg. How about we fix the chicken and the egg, goddamn? Get them both right.
Sound like a good ass breakfast to me. That's what that sounds like, goddamn.
Say what?
I said that sounds like a good ass breakfast to me. Some chicken and some eggs, goddamn shit.
Shut the fuck up.
Look, I ain't ate
I'm
nothing
just
this
trying to
morning.
be all serious. You trying to make me laugh, goddamn.
I ain't ate breakfast this morning. I'm trying to do some of this whole ass intermittent fasting because I fucked up this weekend eating bad. So I'm thinking about food. I got a little food on the mind. You brought it up, shit, goddamn. But no, I feel you though. And I do believe that. And that's why I try to say that I'm more independent because I do think that there are a lot of people who put party over policy or put party over what's really best for the people. And, you know, to keep that one party in power, which means they'll always have a job or whatever's going on for them in the long term, that they benefit. So I definitely agree with you on that there are a lot of people who would rather be of allegiance to a group than necessarily what's doing best for everybody involved. So I cannot disagree with that.
There it is. And I'm not placing the blame primarily on Trump. Mm-hmm. I'm placing the blame on the government as a whole. Mm-hmm. He's not exempt. But neither is all the rest of the motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And the people is the ones pushing this shit. We keeping the status quo going. Mm-hmm. It's time to shake this shit up. Shit needs to change. Somebody needs to get in there and start doing something drastic. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna put it to you like this: I worked in the oil field for 10 years. Getting oil out the ground, helping these multi-billion-dollar companies get this oil out the ground. So we can get fuel and oil and shit to lubricate your engines and all kind of shit that you need. Grease and all that. But I know eventually that shit's going to run out. Yeah. We're going to have to switch to electricity. Why we ain't did it? Because of greed. We damn sure got the technology. But the technology costs so much, regular companies can't afford it. And then you got the people that's on the energy side. They don't want to get away from fossil fuel as a primary source because they're making money off of it. But here's the deal. There's going to always be a need for fossil fuel. No matter what, you're going to always need some kind of grease or some kind of oil for something. As long as we're using metal, don't have to have. But that will make them less profit. Yeah. Eventually, this shit gonna run out, so we need to start conserving this shit. I knew that going in. I knew that job wasn't gonna last forever, and sure enough, it did. 10 years in, it was a big ass dip. No jobs was going on. Companies going belly up. Hell, my company don't even exist no more. The last company I worked for, they went out of business. And them motherfuckers is in the stock market and shit, the stock exchange. Yeah. Shit's got to change, people.
Okay.
I don't know where it's got to start from, which that will have to be decided. But eventually, somebody or a group of somebody is going to have to start with this shit. Somebody's going to have to come up with this big idea or something like that. The same way that everything else has came. So I don't have the answers. I don't. I'm not that fucking smart. But I'm not dumb enough to not be able to see where we headed. It's gonna get worse before it get better.
So you don't think a guy like Bernie can come in and shake up the status quo?
I don't think that that's the answer either. I mean, that's a different idea. I'll give him that. But I don't really see how that's going to work. Because it's exactly what Prepay said, which is the fact. Even if you give a poor motherfucker all the money in the world, he's still gonna make poor people decisions. That's some real ass shit. And when he said that, I had to start considering some of the decisions that I've made. I make poor nigga decisions, and I'm not poor.
Yeah.
So bam, there it is. You know why? Because I never learned no better. But I have to learn it for myself.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you this fucking much. Anybody that come after me, especially if I have kids and whenever I decide to have kids, they not going to go through this shit. They going to know way before I learn.
Yeah.
I'm just now learning about credit and how the shit works. Damn near 40. I should have learned this shit when I was 16, 17. My mama didn't know. I didn't know. Nobody in my household knew. School didn't teach it. I was under the impression there was some shit that I just really didn't need. Wrong.
You know, in the den, I think we can learn a lot from the mics. Prepay, blessing us with game. I don't know if you caught the replay of Chicago, Mike. You know, blessing us with some game.
That shit was funny. I ain't gonna lie, that record make you mad.
Yeah.
But some of that shit in there,
Yeah.
it make you look away and duck your head down because you're like, fuck.
Yeah. And then sometimes you got to look in that mirror. You might not like what you see, but hey, it's a reflection of what it is. And I think that's what we get with a lot of stuff, man, because people are prideful. They feel a certain way about themselves. And again, you got to really look at a lot of things as an individual, but you cannot deny the truth. And he said a bunch of shit. Because even when he was saying it, so I was like, because I remember when that call happened, I was just like, I'm sitting there like, how am I feeling about this? But at the same time, this Asian nigga is not lying. Like he's saying something. It's just like, so. I mean, I can't get mad at somebody for telling the truth. You know what I mean? And it may not feel good to me because if I do, I'm hindering my own growth and development. Because then I have to take a step back and say, okay, well, he said this, and this is factual, or this is a thing. If you look at it, well, what can I do to either prevent myself from going down this same pathway? What can I do to pass this information along to help somebody, or what can I do to change it? You know, because if you ignore it, then it continues to perpetuate. So you gotta hear some of these uncomfortable truths sometime. And so I know a lot of people get turned off by it, but it's necessary, man. And it may not make you feel good, but we talk about that mental auditing, that personal audit. Sometimes you gotta hear that shit to do it. That's tough.
Everything ain't gonna always be positive, and everything ain't gonna taste good. That's not a lesson out there that tastes good.
Yeah.
But you still need it. There's not a surgery out there that feels good. But you still need it.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. Man, I can't disagree with you though, Trio. I mean, anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's it. I fired my salvo.
Okay. So
y'all just gonna have to get off my boy Prepay though. Goddamn, that's my nigga.
Yeah, Prepay ain't doing nothing.
Just
trying
say
to
you
help
agree to disagree, man, and then leave it at that. Because you're not fit to change this man's mind, and obviously he's not gonna change yours.
Yeah.
But we just here to talk about it. And so let's just talk about it. There's no reason for insults.
And that's why we got to have these conversations. You got to have a place where you can have these discussions, and they may not feel good, but it is what it is. So honestly, just the last little quick hitter. Who do you think is coming out? Who will be the Democratic candidate?
Doesn't matter. Ain't none of them gonna win.
Okay.
They ain't getting my vote. Trump ain't getting it either. I'd rather just abstain.
You
I don't like nobody.
Go third party, man. I don't know who running third party. Fuck, I'm sure they'll come up with some off the wall stuff you can rock with. Who knows?
Cause I look at it like this: if I got the option, they'd be like, well, you can either get your dick cut off or you can get a dildo stuck in your ass. I'd just rather not.
No, look. I'm trying not to go back to any more of them conversations. We had them conversations the last 3-4 days. I don't want to have them conversations.
I guess that's probably why that's the first thing that popped in my mind. Cause I'm just like, oh Lord, I'm in my own head like, why they keep going back to this shit? No matter what the conversation is, that's what they going back to.
Mm-hmm. That's why we gotta have these conversations.
Ladies out here.
Yeah, that's why we gotta have these conversations now, because they just try to do something fun and entertaining. They took it far left. So shit, we finna get serious. We getting back on the serious shit, because god damn it, you can't have no fun with these ladies. They start violating all your human decency and your rights, and they threaten sexual violence. It's just tough, man. But it is what it is.
They ain't talking about forcing it on a nigga. Like, y'all the first motherfuckers to bring up rape every goddamn conversation, and then you start promoting this shit. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Is that Munchausen syndrome or what? What the fuck going on?
Man, I don't know. That's some tough stuff. There's some tough stuff.
I think some of y'all might need to do a little self-evaluation real quick. Which I also see as like meditation. You know, I see why people do that.
Yeah.
I really don't understand it, but I don't knock it. I just don't think that some shit like that would work for me, just to sit still and not move. Like, okay. How do you know when you finish? Like, I got some questions about that shit. Like, how do you know when you finish?
What, meditation?
do you just do it like for a certain time limit, or do you? Like, how does that work? Some
people have a time limit. Some people have a feeling that they seek. Some people just, I mean, it's just a variety. Some people, they just take it how they can get it. I think to each its own. It's like a unique thing for each individual. Some people like guided meditation, which means they'll listen to a voice. They'll play some music in the background that either gives them a certain feeling, or somebody's, giving them affirmations. And some people, they just want complete silence. They sit to themselves. Some people be Indian style on the floor. Some people just sit on the couch or lay flat. Or I think it's to each his own. And it's just, you got to sit in there, and it's about clearing the congestion in your mind, to try to find a solid, either quiet or a solid voice that's just kind of, cleaning up all the bullshit. We take in so much bullshit day to day, and then we process it all as we go about our daily lives. So it's about taking the time to like clean all that shit up, organize all those thoughts. And so some people just want to shut it down and just feel at peace and listen to their body and try to get internalized. And some people just want to manage the thought process. So I think it's different for different folks. It's just about what it is you're wanting to achieve.
So wouldn't that be the same thing as like daydreaming?
Kind of, but not necessarily. Because daydreaming, you could just be really thinking about some old other shit. But with meditation, it's like, it could be like, say, okay, I'm planning out my day, and this is how I see things going. This is how I want, to feel. This is how it's more organization to it, I think, than daydreaming. Daydreaming seems a bit more random, in my opinion, just from my personal experiences. Like when I meditate, I need to get back on it because I had to. But it's more about, okay, this is the thought that I'm focusing on. This is where I want to, align my thoughts. This is the way I want to operate today. So I'm trying to focus on a particular thought. Or if it's something that I feel like I'm weak at, I'm concentrating on how I need to improve on a certain thing. So like it's so many levels and layers to it. I think it's just about what you're trying to seek out of it.
I find that interesting because I could never do that. That wouldn't work for me.
Oh, I think it could. It takes practice.
I'm way too scatterbrained.
It takes practice. Like, you're gonna start off, it's gonna be difficult. Cause see, even me now, sometimes like I'll start off on one thought, and I say, okay, I'm gonna take 10 minutes to meditate, and I may be good on that one thought for about 45 seconds, and then I'm gonna start venturing out, and then I gotta catch myself and then bring it back. But as you do it more and more and more, that time, it's like holding your breath. When the more you hold your breath, the longer you can end up doing it, for a set amount of time or whatever. So it's like and it's a practice. You know, your mind is a muscle just like any other muscle. So it's about training it to be able to have that focus, to be able to hold those thoughts, to not venture too far off, you know, left or right. So that's kind of how I see it. Oh, Prepaid say, hey man, you remember that scene from Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood?
Yeah.
Okay, and when he was going to the jail when they was about to leave, and he's gonna leave with Dashiki or whatever, and then Trey ended up talking to old buddy on the phone, and he said, "Hey man, why you ain't never hit me, man? Why you ain't never hit him up?" Prepaid say, "Why you ain't never hit him up, man?"
My prepaid say I ain't never hit him up.
Yeah, he said, "Why you ain't never called him, man?"
Oh shit, I don't be knowing when to call him, man. That man got a whole family. I'm out here by myself. Shit, I figured he hit me up. So if I answer, I'm up. If I don't answer, I'm probably asleep.
Okay.
But you know, my schedule is way more malleable. I don't know what he got going on. It's kind of one of them things.
Okay, he say be free. He say be free. Hit him up. Not the Tupac style. Hit him up. Just hit him up.
Yeah, nigga stupid. What the fuck is taking so long?
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all I got because I'm sure some other folks want to call in and let y'all do y'all thing.
I really appreciate the call, there, Professor Trill.
Right.
Already. Now, I hope some of y'all were able to discern the difference from prepaid and Professor Trill during that call. I know there's a lot of confusion that takes place. I think it's more so with some of the people who have recently joined in the den. And here, let me go. I got you right here. I don't know where we at. Hold on. Catching a little bit of lag action. Hold on, we getting a little jank, we getting a little buffering. I think we back on track. All right, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this morning? Is it still morning? Yeah, this morning.
What's going on, man? This is boy Broderick.
Broderick, man, what's the motherfucking deal, Broderick? What's on your mind? I'm glad you called in. What would you like to drop on the people today, Broderick?
Man, I just wanted to call and just kind of back up some of the things that Prepay and Trill was talking about, even though I got to do my customary hating ass Trill. Get that out the way.
Already. So what's on your mind? What would you like to share with people? What would you like to clarify?
He's still my nigga though. But no, I just wanted to say, just kind of reiterate, man, the whole Trump thing, man. You know, I do believe that Trump is gonna be reelected. You know, I don't even think it's close, because he has done so much for not only the country, but for minorities as well. Even though a lot of the minorities don't see it that way, they just not really looking for that. They're looking for something else. But you know, that's why I always stress, man, you gotta stop listening to mainstream media. Don't get all your news from Facebook, and like Mike say all the time, do your own doggone research. You know, make your own decisions. You know, get out of this groupthink mentality, and maybe you will figure some things out that you didn't previously know if you just give yourself a shot to do so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also want to touch on how he was talking about the pulling yourself by your bootstraps. You know, hey, I'm another one that has lived through that as well. You know, when you talk about coming from the hood, you know, I'm from Lake Road, Lamont, Texas. You know what I mean? And if anybody know anything about that section of town, man, it was a straight up Crip neighborhood. It was back in the 90s, you know, we was all killing each other over colors and dope and all that kind of shit, you know. But I was able to, at the age of 17, I got up out of there, man, and said that I'd never come back. And, you know, I held true to that. Not because I'm just hating on my town that I grew up in, but because I knew that there was nothing there for me. You know, I knew that I'd never be able to succeed unless I leave that town, you know, which everybody that I left there has not made it over the hump, you know. And the way that I made it out was basically I took my ass to, I ain't go get no 4-year degree or nothing like that. I took my ass to a trade school after being introduced to said trade in high school. You know, I've been a CAD designer since 1997, where I started off making $10 an hour in Houston. You know, and back then that was decent. You know, it wasn't great, but it's better than making 4.25 at the Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is every single year I made more money. Might be $1 sometime, might be $2, might be $5, whatever the case may be. But over the years, just working, I've been able to do a good job of not only getting over the hump, but exceeding that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm put it to you like this here: when I first made $15 an hour, I thought I was balling. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you like this: I'm way far away from that $15 an hour now than I was before. You know, I ain't gonna say how much, but I've done pretty well for myself, all because I got up off my ass and you know made sure that I was getting better at my craft, at my trade that I chose to undertake. You know, so I'm another one of those people that don't accept excuses from black people or black people, because I'm concerned about my people, just like Mike said. You know, but I don't take no shit from black people, especially when it comes to excuses and anything like that, because in this country, if you don't make it, you only have yourself to blame, because all the opportunity is out there for you. Anything that you want to do, you can do it in this country. And all these people talking about they want to go back to Africa and shit. Take your ass on back to Africa and holler at me in 5 years and see how that shit worked out for you. You know,
Yeah.
it just bothers me how people can take for granted the opportunities that they have here, and how people come from other countries and come here, and within 5 years they on top of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And these people looking at us like we crazy, not taking advantage of all this stuff. You know, and here's another thing that pertains to all of this stuff in government. I'm not really so much concerned about what the government can do for me. You know, all that I'm concerned about is that the government doesn't hinder me from getting it myself.
Yeah.
Now, if they can give me any kind of boost economically, or with any kind of assistance or something like that, that may help me in my quest to get it on my own, well, that's great. But as long as they not hindering me to do so, then I'm cool with it. And that's the whole thing when it comes to this whole racism discussion and everything. If somebody is not hindering you because of the color of your skin, it's not racist. If somebody says something that you may not agree with culturally or something like that, or somebody may make some off-color type of comment or something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're racist. Just because somebody may make a comment that you perceive to be racist. It doesn't make a person racist, because as black people, we make racist comments all the goddamn time. I do myself, but I'm not a racist. You know, I ain't never hated on another race just because of the color of their skin. Don't mean that I might not get mad at a Asian person driving slow at me and cuss their ass out on the freeway. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the Mexican dude on the corner selling some oranges or something like that, or something. Hey, we say racist stuff all the doggone time. Don't make us racist. I ain't got no hate for no other race, and I ain't gonna hinder another race just because of the color of their skin. That's what racism really is. Somebody is trying to actually hold you back because of your race or your sex or your religion or something like that. That's real prejudice right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. But as black people, we got this freaking crab in the bucket, groupthink ass mentality, where we want to speak to a certain situation just because of the color of our skin, and we listen to people. That's why I go so hard on people like Roland Martin, punk ass, who always, every single day, want to do stuff to anger the black community. Oh, they're doing this just because they're black. Or, if this person was white, this wouldn't be happening. And that's not always true. That's a whole bunch of bullshit to keep you pissed off and to keep you in that same doggone box of mediocrity or less than you already are. So that's all I got for the people, man. Stop listening to that bullshit. And yes, pull your own goddamn stuff up by your own bootstraps because this is the country where you can do it, you can get
Okay, okay, I can agree with that, man. I cannot disagree with you at all on that one, man. Mr. Broderick, it's always good to hear from you when you had the opportunity. You know, man. You know, and the folks was willing to want to hear from. I don't know if you got time to speak on it, but when we had that conversation about daddy issues, I know you were saying you wanted to comment, but I don't think we ever had a chance to catch you, man.
it. Man, it's crazy you mentioned that because that night that I wanted to call in, I went upstairs and started watching TV and fell asleep. Smooth, smooth fell asleep. I ain't wake up till 2 a.m. in the morning, man. I was
Yeah.
pissed off. But I speak on that in just a minute because me and my wife was having this conversation and for any of those that don't know, this is actually today is the 19th anniversary for me and my wife and everything.
And
And
congratulations.
well, thank you, man. And it hasn't been without struggle. Uh, my wife has grew up with not only daddy issues but mama issues as well. And she grew up in a situation where she didn't see a traditional marriage, as we always like to talk about, and she had some issues with her parents and certain walls and whatever that she's built up that I'm having to deal with myself. You know what I mean? Uh, because it's hard for my wife to trust. Uh, it's been a hard thing to establish a an idea of wifely submission. You know what I mean? Uh, because my wife has a certain idea about that, and it's almost like when I tell her something, sometimes if she ain't agreeing with me or she don't feel it or whatever, the first thing come out of her mouth is, "You ain't my daddy. You can't tell me this shit." Well, I'm told you damn right I ain't your daddy because your daddy has no authority in this house.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, and this is a lot of times the women are dealing with these daddy issues because they didn't have that traditional father, and they didn't have a mother in the household that treated that traditional father with the respect that he deserved, just because he is the husband. And what a lot of women don't realize is that you have to respect that husband of yours, even if he's not operating in a manner of which you think he may deserve respect. His position alone is one of respect that is to be given, even if you don't think that at that time whatever he's doing he deserves it. You know what I mean? And a lot of that comes from the daddy issues, as I spoke on. If you don't have that experience to pull from, then how are you gonna know how to act in that situation?
I agree. I agree. So, I got one other quick question for you there, Broderick, man. And somebody asked, when did you leave the Democratic plantation?
Man, to be quite honest with you, I can't put a actual date on when I left the Democratic Party, but uh, because as far as ideologies go, I probably always carried the ideology of the Republican Party. But I was one of those black people that was riding with black people, and what I've always been told, blacks vote Democrats because we're all about the poor. I mean, the Democrats are all about the poor, and the Republicans are all about the rich. Which, to piggyback on something that Mike said, if you ride with that idea of thinking, then that goes to show that you consider black people as poor, which I don't believe that. Just like Mike said, just because you're black doesn't automatically mean that you're poor or you're going to be poor. But people like those Roland Martin put us in that box where that's what we are supposed to be, and we're steady fighting oppression or whatever just to not be poor, which is so far from the truth. It's crazy. But I probably officially left the Democratic Party right after I voted for Obama the first time, and I saw some things that it appears to me that nobody else could see. I saw some of the things that he was doing that were, absolutely contradictory to everything that he ran on. And I started doing my own research and felt myself that, hey, this is not the party for me. I started finding out some things that I was basically lied to about, all those years growing up. and that's when I left the Democratic Party. And to be quite honest, as I think Trill was talking about being independent. Um, the reason why at this particular point the independents won't work is because the left and the right are fighting so hard and their sides are so strong that even if you have an independent candidate who has all the best policies, says all the right things, operates the best way, the independent candidate is not going to win because you have such a divide in this country that's been here for I don't know how long, that the independent is not going to win. Because to be quite honest with you, Donald Trump probably would have run on an independent ticket if he felt like that was the ticket that would win him the election. He didn't run as a Democrat, even though Trump, if my research, used to be a Democrat. He went with the party that he felt like had the better chance for him to be able to win and get in there and change some things that we have been lacking.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. Anything else you want to add to that, man?
No, man, that's my call. It's hard for me to call during the day, but I had to chime in, man. Y'all get off my boy prepaid, man. I'm trying to school some of y'all cats. And to be such a young cat at 32, man, I learned so much from that cat myself, man. It ain't always about listening to people that's older. Sometimes you learn from people that's younger. I learned a lot from that cat, so get off my boy.
Exactly. All right, man. Be for real, aka Brody B, aka Mr. Broderick, man. I appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us this morning.
What's up?
All right, have a good one. All right. Here is the deal. And like I said, I got to get back to getting a little bit more scheduled here because I'm going to have to take care of a few things here in the shortly. So we're going to probably make that the last call this morning. And plus, when people want to come back and watch, when we have extra long streams, it makes it more difficult for certain people who want to come back and watch it later to catch everything. So we're going to make that the last one. But here is the deal, right? Damn, I got to take care of them domains. Here's the deal. Now, the reason why I had to do this, and I'm glad to hear from the fellas once again. Seems like it's been so long. I know some of these topics we had the last few days, they turned sour, and I don't blame y'all for not wanting to hear all this anger and hatred that was being promoted within the den. That's not a culture in which we've established. It was just so much anger. I don't know where it was coming from. But first, shout out to Thunderbolt 9999, and let me reiterate the comment that was shared, and that brings me to my point. Okay, and ultimately, this is why the Den is here, to have these conversations with people who have had real experiences, who have lived life, even though stories may be different, that stories may not be your story. You may not have had the same upbringing, but I think a lot of us has come from similar places or similar situations, even though it may not be exactly the same. Every story has its own nuance. But if regular people could do it, not the people who are in the media, who are pushing agendas to you, and you can see that a person can share their real live example with you and tell you what it is they did, you cannot knock someone's story, just because it doesn't necessarily apply to you. But take from it what you can to benefit yourself. That's why I look at the Den and I love the Den so much, because so many stories in here. When we were talking about abuse and father issues and things, and the women shared some traumatic stories. I learned from that. When the fellas call in today, they talk about different political points of views and things of that nature. I learned from that. Sharing their own stories, their own experiences. I learned from these things. It says, nice, there's no talk of cutting off penises or peeing in the bedroom, etc. today. Shout out to Thunderbolt. And Culture, Rashida, you can only silence broke niggas. Honcho tell her stop muting people for saying Donald Trump is good. Make her enforce your rules, not hers. All right. That's all good, because when it's all said and done, Rasheeda gonna be voting for Trump. She gonna be voting for Trump. When it's all said and done, I'm gonna look. I got something for Rasheeda. Trust me, I got Rasheeda, boy. You been landing on thick these last. I got something for you. I still love you, but I got something for you. But here's my thing. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you something, because I understand demographics, I understand leanings and things of that nature. And this was intended this morning because of all the conversation that we've had this weekend. This was intended to happen because I know certain demographics don't like or will not appreciate the leanings of certain conversations. So this was deliberate for all the oppression that y'all placed on me this weekend. I stood tall, I stood strong. Okay? Like a champ. I'm pulling up to your house, Rasheeda. You ain't going nowhere. Cause y'all laid it on super thick this week. And I was like, you know what's a conversation that we not gonna like too much? Hey, Miss Keisha, how you doing? And so I figured, why not? Let's talk about some politics, because politics always stirs up it stirs up the best in us, you know. Yeah, I don't know. What is it a woman bad? There's no. Where have I bashed women today? I just said they attacked me and they oppressed me, and I let them have it, and I let them have their conversation. I ain't cut nobody off. I didn't, anything. I'm gonna send you some coffee in a den mug, Miss Rasheeda. Everything will be all right. You like Starbucks? But I did this as slight revenge, but I think that there were a lot of great takeaways from today's conversation also. I think there were. And again, whatever side you lean towards, I don't think we had anybody, let me go back to my notes real quick. I don't know if we've had anybody necessarily call in and express. Well, actually, Roman started off. So Roman was the lone liberal-leaning call. Okay. But outside of that, I don't think we got too many. Now, I saw some people in the chat who felt that way, but we didn't get much calls. And the reason why I asked that is, again, it's not about being pro-Trump or pro-Democrat or pro-liberal or pro-conservative or whatever it is. I say personally, I think I have more conservative views, but I identify independently. I just think that what's being pushed these days makes me feel that way, because I'm not concerned with identity politics. I'm not concerned with that's irrelevant to me. Because the reason why I say that is, and just like the gentleman who called in, like Prepaid, Trio, Broderick, when they called in, and they say we all have come from similar backgrounds and realized that, hey, they wanted to make changes, so they did what was necessary to come up, to put themselves in a better position. And if they can do it, you can do it. You may have made bad decisions. I've made a lot of bad decisions in my previous way of thinking. But once I changed my way of thinking, once I changed my approach to things began to improve. And they're still improving. As I learn, things improve. So I think a lot of it is not taking what you've been fed, not taking what you've been given. I don't know why I pushed the wrong thing. But I make sure I like sub all that other stuff. But and applying that, because my thing is self-accountability. Exactly, that's the word. Because when you're accountable for self, you hold yourself to a higher standard. When things go wrong, you know how to fix it. You're not expecting someone else to come fix it. If someone else had to put you in that situation, you're expecting someone else to fix that situation. If you hold accountability for self and you've done it once, and say you happen to lose it all, you make a bad decision, everything, you bounce back. You know, that's why you say people who learn how to become a millionaire, if they end up losing it all, they always bounce back because they know what it takes. My thing is this: if you feel like a certain party has your best interest in mind in your current situation, go that way and run full speed with it. But I think that if you've just been fed something, if you've never looked into the other side to see what it was and why other people, well, what is it about them that makes these people agree to this certain belief, then, you know, I don't think you can hate on them. I don't think you can be mad at them for that. So there's that. Miss Rashida, you want to call in? Miss Rashida want to call in. I will definitely take Miss Rashida's call. Matter of fact, hold on one second. Actually, give me just a second. Put y'all on the whole screen for just a second. Had to issue out a little phone discipline real quick. But my thing is this, man. My thing is this. Shout out to Miss Meek, because she brought something back up the other day that I had not. I used to issue them standards. I hadn't done that in a while, so I had to bring that back. But again, there's so many people who have a story to tell that relate to you. And there's a reason why they make the decisions that they do. I'm not telling you have to do everything that they do. But it doesn't hurt to say, okay, well, why is it? Why did this person go from this way of thinking to this way of thinking? Did that choice, did that decision improve their life? Or what is it that they did? Let me tell y'all, what is it? Cognitive dissonance, I think is the word, where you know something different, but you refuse to acknowledge it because it's too painful to make that change. And I think there's a lot of that's happening nationwide in the black community and minority communities. I think that there are plenty of discussions that need to be had. And I think what happens is, you know, people look at surface issues and they operate off of that instead of, you know, overall, what is best for me and my way of living. Now, if you're out there wilding out and you need some of these bullshit asses, I mean, like, to me, what's very interesting is like when you see like gay Republicans or these people who align themselves with that. And well, why is their primary thought not about the LGBT community? Because that's not their primary way of viewing themselves. They happen to be gay or they happen to be LGBT, but the other policies which are in place or that, you know, certain groups are pushing for benefit them more so than just identity politics. So I think there's a lot of stuff to discuss when it comes down to it. We'll see if we consider this Yes, we know what La Migra means. La Migra, La Migra. Who did that? I think it was a YouTuber that did some shit like that, and he was fucking with motherfuckers. That's fucked up, but it's kind of funny. Again, I think when you take the feelings out of the conversation and we look at it more so based on facts and what's happening, the conversation changes. Wash your ears with holy water. Throw it over your shoulder. I think that that's very important. Let's take the emotions out of these conversations. Now, if you feel passionately about it, I guess, that's a thing. But if you take the emotions out and say, well, this person's saying something I don't like, I don't want to hear anything they have to say because they said something I don't like. I think you got to judge a person's actions, not the individual. That's a big thing. I think the way of thinking that we have, a lot of us in this country, a lot of us in this world, is skewed. And it makes us judge people in a skewed way. But that's all I got to say for today, right now. We'll be live tonight at 10 p.m. Central. And have another good conversation. Probably gonna get on something, something a little bit more serious. But again, the weekday shows are 10 a.m. Monday through Friday during the weekdays, not on the weekends, and then the nightly shows are every night. Hey, if you can't always watch, make sure you listen. Go to denshowpodcast.com to get the podcast available on iTunes and Google Play and some other things. So hey, if you enjoy the conversation, like I said, I'm gonna be uploading a couple of old conversations there so some of the newer folks can get caught up with some of the denisms and get in on some of these inside jokes and things. But we appreciate you here either way. If you want to get some of that nice top-notch Gucci quality Den Show merch, go to denshowshop.com. Grab you some of that. Put some of that fresh Den gear in your life. Get you one of them mugs. I think my mug's actually upstairs, so I don't have it on me. Make sure you're following the Den on all the proper social medias. Den Show Live, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you like the Den Show page. It's greatly appreciated. Join the Den Show Facebook group also. And I think everybody was going to be rocking with the Las Vegas. I'm going to shoot the rest of the information because we're going to probably have to get all that pertinent information done. So there may be a cutoff for that. So if you are planning on going, make sure you get with me. Miss Grace, I'm going to hit you up here today, probably shortly about some of that information. And everyone else, I fucks with y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. Whether we fully agree, whether we partially agree, whether we don't agree at all, we're still all friends in the Den. I ain't getting that 500. I want it, but I ain't getting it. I want it, but I'm not getting it. Darn it. But I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. I know some of y'all like having discussions. So I'll leave the chat up for a little bit so I can steal y'all's pistachios. I'm trying to get all my shit back. But with that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I appreciate each and every one of you, no matter your thoughts, feelings, or whatever it may be on the topic. Oh, yeah, let me put that other shit on there. If you want to make a one-time donation to the channel, streamlabs.com/The Den Show. Shout out to Culture, shout out to Lockwood. I appreciate you guys donating, showing some love, dropping some Benjamins. And if you want to consider pledging to the Den on a monthly basis, helping out the show long-term, patreon.com/The Den Show. Shout out to James, Christina Starry-Eyed, Dan the Man. Shout out to Miss Diana Johnson and shout out to Miss Goya. I appreciate the love. And so, with that being said, y'all ain't got to go home. If y'all go home and y'all leave work early, that's going to be your ass, Mr. Postman. If you're already at home, go outside. Get you some sunshine, man, and embrace the day. It's a little warm out there, but get you some of that vitamin D. Now, don't even take that shit left. It's stashed. You get it from sunlight. But I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I'll catch y'all tonight at 10 p.m. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gone. What's the topic for tonight? Well, you gotta tune in and see. I'm gonna start trying to release the topic a little bit earlier, not like 5, 10, 15 minutes before, but you gotta make sure you're following on the proper social medias because I usually release the topics a little bit earlier on there. But I'll catch y'all tonight. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gone.